What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 11-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. It's Monday. Hopefully you had a nice summer weekend, some time to rest and recalibrate yourself, because I'm going to ask you to bring your A game to the comments down below. If you want to win a free month of Awesemo Plus right now, like this video, comment your double donk pick down below. On Friday, somebody finally broke through and got that double donk, so I'll announce the winner of Friday's contest a little bit later on. But right now, if you want to win your free month, all you have to do is like this video and comment that double donk pick down below. But as always, let's get back on the grind with the top pitchers on today's slate, and Robbie Ray going against Baltimore should be a top option industry-wide. Ray gets 3.4 implied runs against him, which are a slate low, and he's expected to be the number one owned pitcher on FanDuel with 31%, on Yahoo with 53%, and he'll be number two on DraftKings with 36%. Ray's price is appealing on FanDuel and still offers upside at higher prices on DraftKings and Yahoo, given his 30.7% K rate, with Baltimore striking out at a 25.9% rate with just a 156 ISO versus right-hand pitching in a pitching-friendly park. It's tough to pay that high price for Ray after he's been cheaper a lot in the last few weeks, but I think the spot here does justify it. It's a nice matchup in a park that should limit production that he does give up from time to time. Garrett Cole versus Oakland also looks pretty good today with 3.4 implied runs against him as well. Cole will be the number one owned option on DraftKings with 34%, while he'll be number two on FanDuel with 25% and on Yahoo with 49%. Cole's 37.5% K rate is amongst the best in the league with an equally solid 2.6 xFIP, but the 205 ISO that Oakland's projected lineup brings versus right-hand pitching can cause a few headaches, given that Cole's also given up home runs at a decent clip with a 4.1% home run rate. I like Cole anytime he pitches, but this is going to be a particularly tough Oakland lineup. I think the fact the park factors favor Cole make me a little more comfortable with him, and I'm probably going to come close to the field's ownership expected for him today. It's a fall off a cliff to Trevor Richards at the White Sox after those guys with 4.9 implied runs against Richards. Richards projects to be the number three owned pitcher with 22% on DraftKings alongside similarly bad pitchers in Trevor Williams and Sean Anderson. Richards looks okay given how bad the White Sox are versus right-hand pitching, with only two hitters over a 100 WRC plus and a 25.8% K rate on the year for them. But Richards' 5.4 xFIP and 44% fly ball rate are bad signs in which should be a positive power park. Richards is never really a guy I'm dying to roster, especially as a chalk play in a positive hitting park, but I think the spot justifies some exposure because his price is going to help you make some bats affordable. I think I would still come into the field regardless though. On to our next corner, the top stacks on the slate, in a Washington stack going against Peter Lambert's one of those teams. Washington gets 5.8 implied runs, and the weather is a major concern at Washington, but Lambert's 14.7% K rate and 7.1% swing strike rate offers big opportunity to Washington as a stack. Washington's projected lineup is currently in line with their chances to be a top stack, so updates on the weather issues are key to determine approach. If the weather looks bad and the ownership comes down, but the game ends up playing, it could be a spot to get decent leverage on the field, but if the game is going to be highly owned and also at risk of postponement, it might be time to walk away from it. A Yankee stack versus Martin Perez also looks pretty good today with 5.9 implied runs for them, which are a slate high. Perez's 1.7 whip and 5.2 xFIP versus right-handed batters could be a problem, with the Yankees' projected lineup bringing a 214 ISO and a 120 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching. Minnesota's park factors have favored pitchers, and Perez has been improved in 2019, with the Yankees having a better chance of being the top stack than their ownership is projected according to our top stacks tool at Awesemo.com. It does look like a good spot to go to the Yankees today. I'll definitely have some Yankees exposure today, and their ability to hit from both the bottom parts of the order and the top make them a decent stack to go to even if the ownership does matriculate up throughout the day. And a Cleveland stack versus Ryan Borucki also looks pretty good with 5.1 implied runs for them. Cleveland projects for high ownership in a park that helps power, with Borucki making his first major league appearance of 2019 with a previously bad 16.1% K rate and 4.6 xFIP going back to last season. Borucki limited home runs well last year with a 1.7% home run rate with just 31% hard contact, but the stack seems worth some exposure with reasonable prices versus a pitcher who is at his return start to the major leagues. Cleveland's been starting to hit better, so I don't mind many stacks here in particular because Toronto's park has been giving up a lot of home runs, better than most of the parks in the league so far in 2019. On to our next corner, the lower owned options on today's slate, and Mike Clevinger going against Toronto is one of those guys that I like. Clevinger gets 4 implied runs against him, and his price is sky high, but he's at an astronomical 41.4% K rate and 2.3 xFIP, while also being unlucky with a 320 BABIP so far this year. Toronto can take Clevinger deep in a home run friendly park, with Clevinger allowing 39% hard contact, but he's a low owned pivot to expensive pitching chalk with a massive ceiling that we just saw recently. Clevinger's strikeout stuff has been as good as anybody in the league this year, so I'm okay going with him today, though Toronto does have some power that could make it uncomfortable from time to time. And a Miami stack versus Ivan Nova also interests me with 4.6 implied runs for them. Nova's been bad this year with a 317 batting average, a 4.5% home run rate, and a 14.8% strikeout rate allowed in what should be another positive hitting park. Garrett Cooper's overpriced as Miami's only legitimately good hitter, but full stacks for Miami remain cheap despite decent potential to create runs with a 100 WRC plus in their projected lineup. As we all know, Miami is not a great team, and Nova's been so bad that it's certainly possible they put up good production as a stack, especially with their prices where they are as value. And Sonny Gray at Milwaukee also interests me as a lower owned pitcher with 4.7 implied runs against him. Gray has been lights out in 2019 with a 1.1 whip and 28.6 48.6% K rate, as well as just a 2.6% home run rate allowed despite being in a positive hitting park. Gray has strikeout upside with 5 guys in Milwaukee's projected lineup above league average in strikeout rate, so even though the lefty power-friendly park is a concern, he could be a lower-owned option with a solid ceiling. With Gray at single-digit ownership everywhere, I think it's worth having some exposure there. He has a ton of strikeout upside at a price that's a little bit less than the other high-priced pitchers. And a Houston stack versus Homer Bailey interests me with 5.6 implied runs for them. Bailey has been improved in 2019, but he still has a 4.6 xFIP and just a 21% K rate on the year despite his improved numbers. Houston's projected lineup has a 283 batting average, a 126 WRC+, and a 199 ISO, so even though the park factor should favor Bailey, it's possible Houston gets to him in a big way with a solid team total favoring them. Houston is not terribly priced, and Bailey has shown a penchant in the past for giving up a lot of production. I think it's a decent spot to go back to him and hope he has a downside day in his second start for the Athletics. Now onto our last corner of the one-offs, and Juan Soto going against Peter Lambert's a guy who intrigues me. Assuming the weather in Washington passes, Soto is in a strong spot with Lambert allowing a 6.3 xFIP and 48% hard contact to left-handed batters, while Soto has a 146 WRC+, and a 226 ISO versus right-hand pitching. Again, watch the weather closely as we get closer to lock because this is a spot that could jump up in ownership or decrease based upon how it looks throughout the day. And Neil Walker versus Ivan Nova makes his first appearance and probably last appearance in the one-offs today. Garrett Cooper would be my preferred Marlin, but he's a more expensive option, while Walker in the 2-hole gets a lefty matchup versus Nova, gives up a 302 batting average of 5.4 xFIP and a 13% K rate versus left-handed batters. Walker is a mediocre player at best, but going against Nova, a bad pitcher versus lefties, it's a nice spot to go to him at a really cheap price. And Dan Vogelbach versus Adrian Sampson's a one-off who jumps out to me. Vogelbach has a 292 ISO and a 157 WRC+ versus right-hand pitching, while Sampson gives up a 4.1% home run rate and 44% hard contact to left-handed bats. It's not a great hitting park, but Vogelbach is a power player who can get it done at home. I like the spot because Sampson is a guy who's pretty weak, and people aren't going to be going against him too much because he's not at home in Texas today. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on today's slate. So right now, like this video, and if you want to win that free month of Osmo Plus, comment your double dong pick down below. On Friday, we had a couple tough double dongs in Major League Baseball, and only one of them was guessed correctly in the comments. So this guy right here, Adam Jones, you are the winner with Dan Vogelbach. Congratulations. Email me at chris@osmo.com to collect your prize. And for everybody else, you want to join Adam Jones at the Osmo Plus pay window, all you have to do is like this video and comment your double dong pick down below to win that free month of Osmo Plus. But if you don't want to wait for heavy-set first baseman that your old pal EMAC would be a big fan of, all you have to do is use this promo code Switch and Hedge to get half off your first month of Osmo Plus. Get all the ownership projections, the regular projections that you just plug right into the Fantasy Cruncher, the deep dive column, the lineup builder tool, the top stacks tool, a million different things that'll help you make better MLB DFS lineups every single day. So use that promo code Switch and Hedge right now for half off your first month of Osmo Plus. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags if you want to know when the Four Corners video comes out, or tweet me with any questions. That's a way to do it. You can also see my personal podcast, which we spend so much time together all week long. Go spend some more time with me, get to know me on a human level, check out my podcast. But either way, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back tomorrow with another Four Corners video, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you survive your Monday about as well as you can, and I'll see you guys again soon. Good luck.